Alright, so this video is about how to fit your Airstream in a really tight space. Let's say you want to get your Airstream to use it as a extra office space or like start an Airbnb in your backyard or whatever. And this is some tips and ideas about squeezing it in. Now, before I even bought my Airstream, I went to Airforms. It's like a big Airstream forums community, and I just wanted to get their opinion because I didn't even know what size I wanted to get at first. So yeah, would I be able to even fit a Bambi in there? Would I be able to fit a 22 foot, a 24 foot? Just wanted to get their opinion. So first off, I'm gonna, and it seemed like since this was my first post and I was asking for advice, they're kind of helping me out with a lot of replies. A lot of different ideas. Some were kind of skeptical, which is really interesting, which is kind of emboldened me even more because I'm very stubborn. So I'm just in case and then later on in the video I'll show you the way I did it. Now, if you don't want to do it the way I did it and you just need other ideas, I'll read all the possibilities to you. So to kick it off. Can I get an Airstream into this backyard? And I provided some pictures. I have an alleyway with a gate opening. I have 28 feet approximately between my back wall and my fence. A guy by the name of No Results said the only power dolly I found that would do what you want is a TraxPowerDolly.com. They have brakes and variable speeds. Expensive, but would do what you want. The only thing stopping me from purchasing one is the price. I'm sure you could just about put your trailer anywhere with these. So I checked out his website, and yeah, those things, the power dollies, they'll run about a couple thousand. And I just bought my Airstream, or I was planning to buy my Airstream, and I didn't want to spend, drop another $2K. Just for moving equipment. And plus I was reading in the details that these power dollies you have to be careful with if you're not on even surface, if your surface is actually tilts down, and you can actually strain your motor and you can actually break the motor. So I really did not want that option. So somebody else said, hard to say by just looking at the photos, but in my opinion, no, it does not look doable without taking out either your fence or your neighbors. So this is like another theme where a lot of people will try to squeeze an Airstream in a tight space, but they will just try to avoid like some temporary structure or wooden fence. Well, an idea would be, instead of doing all these fancy maneuvers, how about just, if the fence is easy, if you could just remove the fence and then put it back up, it might even cost you, it might save you the hassle, it might be actually cheaper to do that. However, mine was a metal fence, so I don't want to spend the thousands of dollars taking it down and putting it back up, so that was not an option as well. Guy by the name of Gen XAir. A Bambi might work, but anything bigger would almost be impossible, even with a power dolly. The alleyway and gate opening look too narrow to allow a backup. Alright, somebody's skeptical. If this is a one-time move, you could rent the wheel dollies and have a bunch of big guys over for a beer party. I wouldn't even bother with a tug or a power dolly, just a bunch of friends and some belaying ropes to keep it from rolling back down the ramp. I did look into that. You can buy some car jacks. Actually, not the car jacks I use to change the flat tire, but actually these wheel jacks that you can jack up every single wheel and have somebody push it. That would be a possibility, but you'd still need a dolly for the tongue because my Airstream would only have 2 wheels. We're getting into some fanciful territory here, wishful thinking. So somebody writes, you might be able to rent a small bobcat where you can buy a ball attachment for forklift tines. That might give you the maneuverability you need. That's a little extreme. I mean, if I had a bobcat laying around, I would play around with that, but I do collect a lot of, I have too many tools as is, and I think renting a bobcat and even learning how to drive one would be like over the top. But it's an interesting idea. So a user by the name of Einzig said a front-mounted hitch will get you most of the way there. Without measurements, it would be hard to tell how big. I've put my 31 foot into some impossible spots via my truck front hitch. Yeah, that's a great idea. If you can rent a like a Jeep with like a front hitch, that would help around a lot with my maneuverability. A user by the name of Orta15, a forklift with a hitch ball close to its lift tower will be the right tool in my opinion. If the trailer can make it through the gate, a small forklift with small wheels for hard surfaces. Not a huge one with new foamic tires. Any industrial locations nearby? Yeah, again, it's a little too advanced for me, but hey, that could be an idea for somebody. So a user by the name of Uncle Bob. Hi, how many obstacles can be temporarily removed? Sometimes it's cheaper to hire a carpenter to remove, reassemble, replace a fence, a wall, a shed, than it is to go nuts getting past it. The fence that blocks access into the backyard has been up and down several times. So a user by the name of Alan Cal suggested or posted some pictures of him moving an Airstream through what seems to be like a farm with a tractor. That would definitely work. I don't have access to a tractor, but that is good. That's pretty interesting. A user by the name of Sedona asked if it's a one-time move. Get a company that sets up mobile home parks, park models. They have the dollies and the winches to pull together double wides, reverse parking rigs and spaces, level it and set up utilities, a crane, drop it in place. So actually I took that guy's advice and I tried to hit up some companies that actually move mobile homes. But they never replied. I guess this was too small of a job for them. So user 74 WeWind was concerned about the zoning. Says, before you buy and muscle Airstream in your backyard, check your local zoning code to make sure it's permissible to have a travel trailer in your backyard to use as an office or as extra room. Some cities prohibit trailers in backyards if they permit stores, blah, 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 blah. Well, I actually did try to look into this issue. I'm living in Los Angeles, and when I type in, is it legal to have, an RV in the backyard, the only laws that I see were we have a big homeless population, and then just people sleeping in the RVs in front of houses that they don't own. So all the laws and ordinances and stuff like that was actually against homeless people just randomly parking their RVs on the street. So, and then I also live in East LA, and I figure we have chickens running around the street, so it's not quite an upscale neighborhood. So I figured, I don't know if it's 100% legal, but it seems like nobody would care. Alright, so a user by the name of Toaster Live said, love your idea. If this is a one-time deal, hire professionals that do trade shows and possibly take out the fence and replace it. There's probably a learning curve that you could bypass by hiring professionals. And that is right. The guy that I actually got to help me move this thing into my backyard has a little business that's rents RVs for like weddings and special occasions. And it kind of was a small job, but I really begged him, and yeah, he's an Airstream enthusiast, so he was willing to come out and just really give me a lending hand. So user by the name of TJ Donahoe said wishful thinking. So I guess that's a negative for him. But I'm stubborn, so. User by the name of Streamdog said, get a carpenter to build you an office spare room and go camping with the Airstream. Yeah, the issue is the crazy codes and laws in Los Angeles because of all the regulation and all the steps you need to do and all the permits. I got a quote for it would be like $120,000 to build a little room, to build a little small house that's legal in my backyard. And actually, I don't even know if that's would be possible because we have certain parking requirements. So I wouldn't be able to quote unquote add an additional unit to my space because I wouldn't have the the necessary parking. So they're very strict about that. So yeah, I'd much rather buy an Airstream for $12,000 than try to spend $120,000 building a new structure. Especially if I just want like an additional room. A user by the name of Inzik. I'm surprised at all the naysayers here. I think it can be done. Where's your sewer clean out of your house? Mackinder pump for black and gray. Don't be discouraged. There's almost always a complex solution to do simple problems we create ourselves. Soldier on. Thank you. Right on, man. And Uncle Bob made a comment about making sure I have the sewer lines all set up. And actually do. I have a kind of like a waste sewer hole right exactly where I want to put the Airstream. Actually, it'll be in exactly underneath where the black water tank would be. So it's perfect. That spot is made for an Airstream. So I'm covered with that. But yeah, you might want to check out before you actually put the Airstream to get the sewer situation worked out. So this is how we got it into my backyard. For all the naysayers, it can be done. Actually, it can be done with 3 people, maybe even 2. This is a vintage Airstream that I have, and we got a regular simple dolly with a hitch, like a trailer dolly, right? Backed up the Airstream into the alleyway, moved the truck, put the tongue on the dolly, and since this is a vintage Airstream, it doesn't have brakes. I was a little concerned about that because I wanted a dolly with brakes, but if you have a couple people, to prevent the Airstream from sliding back and forth, you just have a person waiting with to put a block underneath the wheel, and that would stop it right there. Airstream's actually surprisingly really light, so 3 people can definitely do it. And I mean, you might not be able to see it in the video, but there's a kind of like a steep incline between my backyard and the alleyway. However, we were able just the 3 of us were able to rock it over the hill, and no problem. One thing that was helpful is when we were using the dolly, the wheels, the dolly tires became a little flat, but luckily for me, I had a bicycle pump and just ran over, inflated the tires, and pushed it in. So everything worked out great.